Yo, welcome back to another commentary. This time it's gonna be Stars 31 that I haven't uploaded either, I think, at least not on YouTube. Yeah, since the feedback on the last two videos was quite positive, I thought to myself, why not? Maybe it's gonna help someone. And the current affixes are so dog shit that there's literally nothing else to do anyways, so here you go. Yeah, basically nothing to say here. They did fix the gateway here towards the harbor. That doesn't work anymore as far as I'm concerned. At least our warlock could not find the new positioning. I think there is a way to do it somewhere on the card, but we couldn't figure it out, so yeah, we just went this way. Yeah, same thing like in Halls of Valor. I always put Rune Tap and Dancing Robin before you go in. And yeah, this is basically just a fast nuke. There isn't really anything interesting here. So this part is actually a bit scuffed here, and you will see that in a few seconds. Because I told them to CC the servant here, not the servant, the sentry. Then I pulled it anyways, I think. I'm not sure why I did that. There was a bit of a miscommunication here, which is why I went for everything then. And then I was super focused on the sentry to get that one to me. I didn't want him to cast the thing on the beacon, which actually caused me to die here, or caused my death, because I just couldn't focus on what's actually happening to me right now. So in the end I wasn't able to heal myself because I had no runic power, and I wasn't in melee range. So yeah, this is a bit discovered. It's gonna get worse. We're gonna chain pull the next construct here. So we're just gonna wipe it. Again, this is also not the cleanest run we had, but it's okay-ish. We basically do this again. Oh, actually we don't pull the sentry here. Oh, quick note. You see this pack here, the worms? You cannot pull this anymore. Let's say you can't pull this anymore directly without chain pulling this spirit or whatever its name is, or this shade. Since you don't want to deal with this shit, there is actually a way to pull the worms without pulling the shade. Oops. And the way you do this, I don't do it in this run, so you just have to trust me. But the way you do this, you basically have to wait for this sentry to move around here, so that it's as close as possible to the worms. Then you CC the sentry, and then you basically pull the sentry. So you go in combat with a construct, you dot the sentry or whatever, so it gets in combat. This will chain pull the worms. Obviously do this when the construct is not next to them, because this will probably gonna get chain pulled, so just wait for the patrol to leave. And once it's safe, you can pull the sentry out of the CC and it will body pull the worms, but for some magical reason the worms will not body pull the shade. So you can still pull both worm packs here. It's just a bit harder to manage, and yeah, but keep in mind you cannot pull these worms directly anymore. It will chain pull the shade always. So yeah, yeah, we basically just kill this. Nothing important here. Also, one of my mistakes here, the sentry over here in the doorway. I mean, this key is from I think 2 weeks ago or something, so I do this by now, but back then I did not do this every time. You actually, no matter if it's teaming or not, this is teaming right now, but even if it's non-teaming, you always want to pull this one as well, in order for you to get percentage done. We will actually lack a little bit of percentage in the end, because we didn't pull the second worm pack here, as you saw. That's kinda dog shit, but we will find another way to deal with it. But anyways, yeah, just always pull this guy. Remember that these guys are pretty tough with the torch throw. You can sometimes body pull this guy. I tried a few times and tried to figure out how you do it perfectly without him throwing the torch. It seems like when you get in melee combat with this guy really fast, so basically if you're around this corner where I'm right now, you want to pop a Wraith Walk and just walk towards this guy without attacking it and just wait for it to attack you. This can cause him to not throw a torch at you, but this is not 100% chance. So sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. Yeah, it's a bit of a gamble here, unless there's a way to actually pull this guy without a throw torch. Maybe I just don't know that trick yet. But yeah, this guy on the bridge almost never throws its torch. I don't know why that is, but yeah, sometimes it does, but mostly it does not. I don't know, it maybe does in, I don't know, 1 out of 10 pulls. The rest, it doesn't really throw that. You can actually grip the cat a bit earlier here, so you don't have a DPS dying. That was a bit of my fault here. But sometimes it can be hard to react fast enough to do that. So yeah. I don't think there's anything interesting in this pack. Yeah, no, it just takes quite long. Here, we also didn't pull the worm pack over there. You see that right behind the boss. We used to do that. I think, actually, I don't know. Let's see why I didn't. Okay. Since, as you can see here, the patrol is moving towards the worm pack, which would cause us to wait a long time until they turn back, so I can safely pull the worm pack without chain pulling the 2 cats and the guard. Because what you want to do is you want to pull the boss and the worm pack, because that's just super easy to deal with. There isn't really much to worry about except for the AoE after the worms die. Yeah, you just basically save the time to kill this pack afterwards on its own. Yeah, the boss is like pretty much whatever. I don't think there's anything interesting here. You can AMS the lockdown, in case you didn't know, but I guess almost everyone knows. How do I die here? Okay, yeah, the beam. Honestly, I don't know why I didn't dodge this beam, but sometimes as a tank it can be hard to dodge the beam without making the boss move in a certain direction, which can cause the boss to use the frontal stun, which is in front of him and in his back. If you dodge the beam, you can cause him to turn around, so he would cast the stun into the range position, and you don't want that to happen. So it can be sometimes tricky to do that. So I used to rather soak the beam and be safe than walking too much and risking the boss to stun our, basically one-shot our melees and ranges. But of course you can dodge the beam without moving the boss, but it's a bit tricky. Either way, yeah, we skip this. I stun this guy, use speed set, run past it, and we just wait until our team passes, and then we melt, or I melt. Here, the next 3 packs, we just pull them inside of this room here, so my team is gonna wait here. I'll wait for these imps to pass once, so I can get the buff. We got trap as well, that's pretty pog. So now I'm just gonna wait for them. I'm gonna pre-use my sky step. I'm not gonna pull the mistress. They're just gonna get chain pulled by the imp by the imps, because I wasn't sure if I would pull the construct pack on the bridge as well, if I would have pulled the mistress directly. So yeah, I just went with the body pull here from the imps. The chain pull worked perfectly, so everything cool. I think we're gonna kill the imps now. Probably. With the Inquisitor and the Mistress, I believe. Yeah. I think we pulled both, actually. Yeah, I think we're gonna pull the next Inquisitor and the next Mistress as well. Okay, it got rooted, but yeah, I'm gonna pull it here. And we pull the two next to the crit orb as well. I don't know, maybe it happened to you as well. I can only speak for DKs right now. I don't know how this, how hard this hits for other tanks, but here you see this dot. This is a healing reduce if I'm correct, and maybe you can actually see my HP. Let's see. Okay, it wasn't that much. I think it went up to here. But I also had a Vampiric Blood up, so this hit hits pretty fucking hard, and this can actually cause you to die if you don't watch out for it. It's an instant cast, so you will never know when it's actually gonna come, but this is a cast from the Mistress, so you can either try to AMS whenever you think it might happen. You can also outrun it if I'm correct, so you can literally just kite them technically to not have this happen to you. Or you just pop cooldowns in this pack until they're dead, which is also a viable option, which I did. I just used Vampiric Blood here and that was fine. But yeah, so just so you know where this dot comes from, it's pretty nasty. I think we're gonna kill the Enforcer here. Devil is probably gonna pull the two in the back. Now, I think so. Yeah, exactly. We kill these. A good tip here is to move towards the exit here, towards the gate, when you kill Enforcer. Because there's actually times where in new Enforcer, I mean, you probably had this already happen to you a few times, but this can be pretty bad and it can cause a wipe most of the time, that an Enforcer is going to spawn either here or here in the next few seconds, and it's probably going to chain pull if you pull the if you kill the mini boss right here. So that is why we move the mini boss outside of this area just to be safe. I think the Enforcer doesn't spawn. Yeah, the Enforcer's on the other side, so it's whatever. We go back in. Yeah, that's nothing important here. We just kill this guy on its own. Yeah, our Warlock has blacksmithing, and he went on the other side and triggered the trap for us, so the second mini-boss just got fucked by that, so we only have to deal with the third one here. I'm gonna pull this one over here, so we can play it with the next pack, since we still lack percentage. Again, on teaming, this is actually quite annoying in Court of Stars if you don't kill the worm packs in the start and the one servant, the one sentry that I missed in the doorway. You will actually lack percentage even after you kill this pack, which you're gonna see now. Yeah, we still have 94, which is where we actually kill an Enforcer here. That is quite bad. It's a big waste of time. You don't want to have this happen, but yeah, that was quite my fault, but also was yeah, we just didn't know at that point how to pull the second worm pack efficiently without chain pulling the shade, so it's okay. We actually have to melt pull another dog here because the Enforcer wasn't enough. We just pulled this pack, or I think Smog pulled this pack. I tagged the Hound and he melted, so we only had to deal with the Hound. Big waste of time here, definitely. This boss, I don't know, maybe we can see it here. I'm not sure if it's this key or if it was a different one. No, okay. Yeah, I mean, then there isn't really much to say here. I always leech on the first one, kinda because I'm just greedy and I want to deal as much damage as possible, but also for the others to heal off. Um, yeah, I think we, how do you say? Me and Revenge kick the boss. Although you can more or less kick the boss as a melee on your own. I think at the third or fourth cast you're not going to be able to because it's slightly gonna happen before your kick is gonna come off cooldown. But yeah, whenever we have a ad spawn here, you can see that. Rune tap, the ad spawn happens. I press rune tap because these hit a lot. They hit for a lot, and I don't want to die here. So whenever there's an ad spawn, I use some cooldowns. Sometimes it's Vampiric Blood, sometimes it's Rune Tap, sometimes it's IBF, Dancing Rune Weapon. But yeah, I always use something here. And now we're actually getting to the point where there isn't much to talk about. The mini-boss. This mini-boss is actually bugged. I don't know if you noticed it. Actually, I've been told this by a druid. I never really paid too much attention to this, but as you can see, the mini-boss dies quite fast, I think. Actually, maybe not in this week yet. I'm not 100% sure, but right now, this mini-boss does not scale properly with the key difficulty and with Fortified. This mini-boss has way too little HP. It's pretty obvious when you think about how few casts he actually gets through. This is the second one. He's almost dead on a 31 Fortified. I'm not sure if there's actually going to be a third one. Almost, I think. Yeah, I think the third one actually goes through here. Yeah, it actually kills Revenge and Smog. Quick note. Actually, I can just play it. You see the pylon here? There's going to be a lot of pylons. Yeah, these pylons, this is basically what I said in the last Halls of Valor commentary. They use these pylons on their own or for themselves, so when they die, they stand on their own pylon, so their own pylon is going to res them. I've been also told, since I'm not range, I can't confirm this, but I guess it's true. Zmog told me, or Devil, I don't know, that you can actually outrun the Shadow Bolt debuff. So as you can see, I still have the Shadow Bolt debuff here. This is 15% increased damage, I believe. For some reason, my debuff was gone before their debuff ran out. Obviously, okay, yeah, because the travel time. Yeah, because of the travel time. So if you're range, you can basically run away when this cast happens. So your debuff is gonna run out before he hits you, because if he hits you while you have the debuff active, it's most likely going to kill you. As you can see here, Zmog still had the debuff, and he's gonna die to the next Shadow Bolt here. Yeah, now it... and boom, he's dead. So yeah, but apparently you can outrun the debuff, so the Shadow Bolt is gonna hit you maybe a few milliseconds after the debuff runs out, so you might not gonna die, depending on if you have cooldowns to survive this or not. And we're basically in the end here. There isn't really much to talk about at this boss. I play with Ishkars here. I always leech the first Maelstrom, and after that I leech every second one. Yeah, I soak the swirly boys, whatever you want to call it, the wind on the ground, for Shizik to dispel me on the Maelstrom, so he can proc his Cephus and it's gonna be easier for him to heal himself. And I basically just keep my Ishkars until one of them calls out for it, or until I feel like someone is about to die and I'm just gonna use it on my own. It's basically just about communication here. But yeah, other than that. Also, in the perfect world, you don't want your Warlock to soak this. First of all, because your Warlock can just stay in the melee camp and the Druid can go and soak the charges here. Because obviously your Druid can cast while walking, your Warlock cannot, and that's just a DPS loss. And yeah, your Warlock can soak the winds himself that way if he's in melee. So yeah, that was basically it. Thanks for watching and see you next time.